Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to talk about studying. Throughout my time at university, I've tried many different study techniques, but none of them really worked for me. I had to find my own ways to study effectively, and today, I want to share some of the tips that helped me go from studying 10 hours a day to just 2 to 3 hours a day, while still improving my results. First off, let's talk about taking notes. As much as I love taking pretty notes and using highlighters, I had to make the tough decision to stop spending hours on end just writing notes. Instead, I focused my time on doing practice questions from past exams, and that's where I saw the biggest improvement in my results. One thing I've noticed a lot of my peers doing is writing out the entire history of an equation or its derivation. But in reality, all you need is the main piece of information or the one golden equation that can be applied everywhere in your course. For example, when studying physics or chemistry, your teacher isn't going to ask you about Newton's life story or how his brain worked. They'll just ask you to apply his laws to solve problems. This may sound exaggerated, but you get the idea. And this is where the 80-20 rule comes into play. 80% of what you learn, like the history or derivation, leads to only 20% of the results. While 20% of the content you learn, such as key information or main equations, can lead to 80% of the results. So, how do you focus on that crucial 20%? The answer is simple. Focus on the topic questions, exam papers, and the practice questions your teacher may give you. These are the real, golden tickets to improving your performance in exams. Now that you've identified that 20% of key information, the majority of my study time goes towards working on past exam papers and topic tests. I also have a 5-step routine for approaching these topic tests, and I'm going to explain it now. Step 1. Attempt the question without any help, just using your notes and reference materials. This will show you how effective your note-taking skills are and how helpful your references are, depending on whether you're allowed to use them. Step 2. If you got it right, awesome. Compare your solution to the one in the answer key. Sometimes, teachers will grade you based on how you solved the problem, so it's important to compare and see if your method aligns with the solution. In some cases, they may give partial credit if your method is incorrect, so it's always a good idea to double-check. Step 3. If you got it wrong, go ahead and repeat the question using the solution as a guide. If there's something in the solution you don't fully understand, make sure to ask your teacher or go over the concept again. Write down any important points you missed because there's a chance they might show up on the exam. Step 4. After a few days, or just before your exam, come back to the question and try solving it again without any help. This will test how much you've retained. Step 5. If you got it right, congratulations. You've retained the information. If you got it wrong, take a look at what you did differently from the first attempt. If you're still having trouble understanding the problem, try to find similar questions from past tests or ask your teacher for more practice problems. Do those first, then come back to the original question. When it comes to taking breaks, I'm not the biggest fan of them. Some people might say, "Oh, you should take breaks." But if I take a break, I often end up taking way longer than I should, sometimes up to an hour or more. That's why I prefer to study in one chunk, then I can spend the rest of the day doing whatever I want. I typically study for about 2 to 3 hours a day, and I'll split it up, like 1 hour for math, 1 hour for chemistry, and so on. I realize that this approach may not work for every major, especially those that require heavy memorization, like biology or psychology. However, you can still take away some key points, such as the 80-20 rule and the idea that you shouldn't focus on one thing for too long, or else your brain will burn out. I hope this video helps you guys out in some way, and maybe you can try out some of the techniques I shared, or even the 5-step routine when studying for exams. I plan to release another video soon about how I study throughout the semester or the week before an exam. But most importantly, let me know what you want to see next from me. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me on social media. I'll see you guys in the next one.